72 years ago, in a small town south of St. Louis, God placed in hearts of a small group of people the desire to form a new mission site. It was named Faith Lutheran Church. They could hardly imagine what God had in store for their small community of believers. Fast forward to the year 2000. After 8 years of praying and planning, Faith relocated 1/2 mile away to its present location. Fast forward another 8 years, where another small group of Faith's members gathered in a barn across the river. This was the formation of Faith Columbia. During Faith's history, we have been blessed with tremendous growth. To thousands of children, youth, and adults becoming followers of Jesus Christ, to the dozens of individuals who have been raised up, trained, and sent out to serve in full-time ministry, to hundreds of people in groups planted to make a difference where they live, work, and play. Which brings us to today. It brings us to a question: what's next? Clearly, God has moved through Faith in the past. But we don't want to miss out on what God desires to do next. That's why we have stepped out to begin a new faith journey simply called Next. The Next campaign is a 3-year spiritual journey seeking the heart of God in answer to the question, what's next for faith in reaching this generation and the generations to come? We believe we have reached a critical time as a church together to respond to the growing challenges God has laid before us. There are 3 components to this journey: the next generation, the next phase, and the next step. With the next generation, we believe the work God is doing in and through us is not only bigger than our church, it is bigger than our lifetime. Therefore, we must make an intentional commitment to understand, engage, invite, and equip the next generations while striving to replace ourselves at every level for the future. We must also work to intentionally make our environments, ministries, and programming relevant to the next generations. With our next phase, we must engage in strategic, Spirit-led opportunities, begging God to use us to make disciples of all nations, seeing unreached generations transformed by the gospel as groups are intentionally planted to carry out their mission. To enable us to do this over the next 3 years, we will make necessary renovations at our Columbia site and totally eliminate our debt in Oakville. This will give us the ability to pour more than $250,000 each year into missional opportunities within our community, city, and ultimately the world through Spirit-gifted, God-led life groups living out their God-given mission. With our next step, we are challenged to respond to God's blessing in our lives, in our church, by seeking to be in a life group on mission, giving an initial one-time next offering, and by making a 3-year financial commitment above what is currently being given to Faith. Will you join us on the journey of connecting people to the extraordinary life found in Christ? Becoming a generous church by taking your next step as a generous disciple and seeking to see faith reach generations to come? As we look to the future, it is our prayer that those who will outlive us all will continue to join in God's activity in the future. At Faith, we believe the greatest days for our church are yet to come. As we seek to answer what's next, we all have a part to play. First, pray and listen to God. Second, obey His voice as He invites you to join in His activity. Finally, trust that He is able to do more than we could ask or think. God has blessed us at Faith, and we can't wait to see what's next.